miles, 500 miles. Lord, I'm 500 miles from...
All right, everyone, welcome to my 500th class. It's been a long time since I've been wanting to reach this goal. I told myself that if I ever did 500 classes, that I would give a speech. So I'm putting this out there. This is a story of why there were 500 classes, or better, maybe the story of a fist fight, because that's how this all starts, is with a fist fight. As you know, I've been teaching CNA classes for the last 11 years. This is class 500 right here behind me. And during class 202, we had a couple of students that had, let's say, a problem with each other. And so the last day of class, they decided to step outside and have a fist fight. So as the instructor, I jumped outside and I got between these two students. First of all, disgusted at the situation and how childish it was, but I had to do something to intervene. So after I stopped the fight, I told my students in class 202 that I would be locking the door, going inside and saying a prayer to see if I would finish that day. So I did. I locked the door, I closed my curtains, I got on my knees, and I said, Lord, you got to help me. I said, I'm not doing this alone anymore, so you need to show up. And at that moment, I had a really peaceful feeling that told me I should keep going, so I did. I unlocked my door, I ushered my class back in, and we went on with the rest of our day with no fist fights, no problems, and everybody went home. And so after that experience, I told myself I'm at the end of a 3-year lease. I got nothing to prove to anybody. I don't want to teach CNA class anymore. But because I had such a bad day and a bad class and I was feeling so bad, I decided I'd go to church that night. And it was a Sunday. I used to teach on Sundays. So that night I went to my church and found out they weren't having church there. And right before I left, I had this one experience that just stuck with me. I looked at my microwave, and the time on that microwave was 4 minutes and 26 seconds. So when I left that day, I reset that microwave to 0, and I went home with that number in my brain, 4:26. Now when I got to church that night, you won't believe what the first hymn was. A church I'd never been in. They open up the thing and they welcome everybody in and they say, let's turn to page 426, Victory in Jesus. So there it was again, 426. I had a good time at church that night. I felt a little better about what I was doing as a person and as a professional. So when I got home, I turned on my radio. And the first song I heard was this song by Brandon Heath called He Put the Light in Me. I liked the song and it kind of hit home. So I looked it up on Google, and the length of that song was exactly 4 minutes and 26 seconds. So I guess the answer to my prayer, if God was with me, was answered that day, and if I should go on and keep going, so I did. And it's come up again. About 2 years ago, I was asked to leave the establishment where I was teaching. They basically told me that CNA school didn't fit with their plan design, and that they needed a cell phone in my location, a cell phone seller. So that happened. And what was interesting is, as they closed my lease and as they kicked me out and sent me on my way after 9 years, the number of classes I taught at that location was exactly 426. It came up again. Now, I've taught 500 classes, and there's no way I could have ever planned that part, but it did happen. 2 weeks ago, I had a student in here out of nowhere that I told this story to, and I found out that her conception date of the child that I didn't know about was April 26th. It's a little boy. He's due in January, but that story was very impactful for her because it meant something in her life. And on my way home that night, I stopped up here at the Long John Silver's, and for $24.99 with tax, that particular dish or meal plan comes up to $26.74. And I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl last year, but the last play of the game was a 4th and 26. So it just keeps coming up in my life, and people look for signs, they look for wonders, they look for a reason to believe, and they look for angels, but it's really not there. What it is you have to just look at the numbers sometimes in life. So, now that I've told this story and told it all to you, I'm going to ask Lori to flip over my ID. Just read my birthday.
4/26.
There you go. That's why I'm teaching my classes. That's why we got to class 500. Now you know.
If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. You can hear the whistle blow 100